Hi, YouTubers. Something important. So today's Medical Thursday right now. So Medical Thursday like a big ass cigar. So often doctor for the last damn time. So anyway, talk base right now. Essentially, senior citizens and falls or injuries. So basically, you have senior citizens who are people over the age of 65 in general. Some people would say a different age. Some people would say a different age. Whatever. So anyway. Now you have falls and injuries. Now, as you get older, as your body naturally gets older, which eventually we're all going to get older, we're all going to get sick, and eventually we're all going to die. Essentially, yes, it becomes very much more common with age that you will have injuries and falls. I mean, you should be careful in general. I mean, anybody should be careful in general. I mean, for a better word, you should be fucking careful. However, your risk of having falls and having more substantial injuries does go up with age. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor for the last damn time, so this is just general information. So, anyway, as you get older, as you get into your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, your risk of having a fall does increase because your body becomes more, your elderly 97-year-old granny. That's just being a little bit satire, but actually is very serious. So, yeah. It's very common for people, to trip over something, or, slip because they're using a cane or a walker, and yeah, so it's very common for a senior citizen to fall. And as you get older, especially in your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, your hundreds, and so on, depending how long you live, essentially becomes hard to get up. Like, for example, like if I fell, for example, if I slipped and fell, unless, of course, like I, God forbid, broke my freaking leg, it's like, I'd be able to get up in a heartbeat. I might say like, son of a bitch, that really freaking hurts, but I'd be able to get up in a heartbeat. However, say you're elderly 85-year-old granny would be she could for example not be able to get up because it's very hard for a senior citizen to get up after sustaining a fall. So anyway, like I fell back in 2016 when I was walking to work one day when I was living at home back in 2016, I slipped on some ice and fell on my back, and yeah, that really hurt like a son of a bitch, and back then, my leg was pretty sore, my back was pretty sore, but I mean, I was able to get up pretty good. I mean, luckily I didn't hit my head, I fell on some ice. I'm not going to say where I fell, obviously that's my privacy, but yeah, I mean, I was able to get up fine. My leg was sore for about a week. I actually had to take some, over-the-counter Tylenol for about a week or so because my leg was really bruised and sore, and my doctor was really concerned. But I mean, yeah, it's like, not the end of the world. It's like, at my age, back then I was 25. Yeah, I was 25 back then, and now I'm 30, almost 31. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, it wouldn't be good. It would still suck, for a better word. It still suck. But I mean, compared to your elderly 80-year-old granny, it would be a big deal. I mean, if your elderly 80-year-old granny, fell on the ground, she could also the risk of breaking a bone goes up with age, because even if you don't smoke and drink, it's very easy, your bones become more fragile as you get older. You start to develop what's called osteoporosis as you get older, and your bones become more fragile and they become more easier to break. I mean, you can still break a freaking bone at, 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, but it's a lot harder compared to your, elderly 85-year-old or 90-year-old granny or grandpa because your bones become more fragile over time. So, yeah, very, very damn important if you are a senior citizen, you want to be freaking careful. I mean, for a better word, you want to be fucking careful. You want to make sure, you use a cane, whatever, because you do not want to be falling, because you can end up literally in rehab for months, and it can really suck, for a better word. So, at my age, prime of my life, 30 years old, it's like, it wouldn't be good if I fell. I'd still be like, frick, whatever. It's like, but I mean, it's not like somebody who's 80 or even 70 or 60 falling. Even somebody who's 60 or 55, it's still a lot worse. So, anyway, pretty fucking cool. Bye.